Remember when buying a game meant you actually owned the game? Yeah, ancient history. Now you buy a complete edition that needs an internet connection, free updates, 2 accounts, and a small blood sacrifice to the server gods, only for the game to potentially disappear 6 months later because somebody lost a licensing agreement from 2011. Modern gaming, truly living the dream. What's up, guys? Davu here from Davu Retro Gaming, where we remember when games launched, finished, menus were simple, and your console didn't need a firmware update just to change the brightness settings. Today we're covering the biggest gaming news and trends from May 1st up to May 19th. And honestly, this month kept providing the same thing. Gaming is becoming more convenient, and somehow less permanent at the exact same time. Subscription gaming keeps expanding. So let's start with subscriptions again, because apparently the industry looked at cable television and said, you know what gamers would love? Paying forever. Game Pass, PlayStation Plus, cloud libraries. Companies keep pushing the idea that access matters more than ownership. And look, on paper, it's great value. Hundreds of games, low monthly cost, easy access. Until the game you're halfway through suddenly leaves the service, like your dad going to buy milk in 2007. And that's the problem. You don't control the library. The platform does. So every month feels less like building a collection and more like borrowing somebody else's. More games quietly disappearing? And yes, more games quietly disappearing or got flagged for removal this month. Again. At this point, digital storefronts feel less like libraries and more like temporary garage sales. Licensed games are still getting hit hardest. Racing games, music-heavy games, sports titles, movie tie-ins, basically anything involving lawyers and contracts is on life support. And the best part? Most companies barely warn people anymore. One day the game exists, next day it's gone like a Snapchat message. Remakes still everywhere. Meanwhile, the remake train continues with absolutely no breaks. Now don't get me wrong, some remakes are fantastic. But gaming right now feels weirdly obsessed with replaying the same decade over and over. There are still hundreds of older games trapped on dead consoles. But instead of preserving those, publishers keep remaking games that already got remastered 5 minutes ago. At this point, I'm expecting Resident Evil 4 Remake, Remastered Director's Ultimate Enhanced Collector's Lunchbox Edition. Cloud gaming and AI features keep growing. Cloud gaming and AI features also keep expanding this month. More streaming, more device integration, more play anywhere marketing. And honestly, some of the tech is impressive. But the more gaming moves into the cloud, the less ownership players actually have. You're not buying games anymore. You're renting permission to access pixels. And if servers go down, congrats! Your game collection becomes a memory. Retro gaming quietly keeps winning. And this is exactly why retro gaming keeps surviving every industry trend thrown at it. Because old games still do something revolutionary. They work offline. No launcher, no forced account linking, no 70 GB patch fixing the game they released unfinished. You put the cartridge in, and through mysterious ancient magic, the game starts immediately. Gamers are starting to notice. And honestly, I think more players are finally hitting burnout with modern gaming. Everything wants your money, your attention, your data, your daily login streak. And meanwhile, people are rediscovering older games because they feel simpler, more complete, and weirdly more respectful of your time. So looking at May so far, the biggest gaming story isn't one release or one controversy. It's the growing feeling that players are slowly losing control over the hobby itself. And maybe that's why retro gaming matters more now than ever, not just because it's nostalgic, but because it reminds people what gaming felt like before every menu became a storefront. So let me ask you, what's one physical game you own that you're really glad you still have? And do you think gaming is heading towards convenience or full-on digital chaos? Drop it in the comments. If you enjoyed this, hit like, subscribe if you're new, and stick around for more gaming news, retro talk, and occasional emotional damage caused by modern launchers. I'm Davu. Game on.